welcome to my Tuesday night energy update. My name is Jessica Alstrom, for those of you hearing me for the first time. I am the creator of Transcendence International Consciousness Academy, and I teach a global forum here on Facebook called Quantum Life. And I am in my community group tonight and live on YouTube with an energy update. As most of you guys know, last Sunday, matter of fact, just a couple days ago, we had the full moon, and that full moon was different experience for all of us, depending on where you are in your journey right now. Some of you had a lot of energy, some of you had no energy, some of you guys are creating huge breakthroughs in your life, and some of you are having huge downward spirals. And believe it or not, all of those things are perfectly necessary for your transition. I've got my cool little display up tonight where you can see the 3D and the 5D shift. And if you notice, the 4D is the bridge between the travel units. And 2012 was basically what activated that 4D bridge. And now that we're in 2018 and we're closing out in 2018, we're really kind of setting up home in this 5D reality. But the situation with 5D is you cannot reside or basically be home to this 5D environment when we're still living in the mind. This is a heart-filled, coherent atmosphere now. And anyone who is still trapped in the mind and logic and focused on analyticals and obligation and suffering and separation is probably having a really difficult time in their life right now. Real hard reality. You know, life is just feels very sluggish, and the lessons keep repeating over and over again. They keep smacking you in your face, and maybe you're feeling too much fear to kind of move ahead, but it's really going to get like childlike energy. 5D, luckily, is very simple physics. What you put out is what you get back, and it isn't about following rules so much as following the heart. And it is much more illogical, it is much more playful, it is much more spontaneous, and much more adventure. It is really about the children on the playground creating different games as they unfold within the hours of the day. And really, if you would allow your life to look more like that, you would start thriving instantly. But it takes a lot of courage to be able to let go of everything we've ever known as safety, everything that's ever kept you comfortably numb, everything that's ever kept you comfortably unsafe, which is what I call 3D. It's like you're comfortable, but you always have this sense of slavery attached to your reality. And when you move into this 5D reality, it feels a little bit too good to be true. You know, things happen instantaneously, you know, and people, places, and things that you're just thinking about start to begin to show up. Your body is going through extreme changes as far as getting ready to be able to hold more space and more light. The DNA starts to activate, and when the DNA starts to activate, those gifts that you've been reading about your whole life when it comes to spiritual, psychic realities starts to kind of unfold in front of your eyes. So what you're noticing, probably a lot more intuitive people starting to get on the scene, you know, people like me having their own channel, having, you know, channeling different frequencies all over the universe, people coming out of the closet and talking about the star families and talking about, you know, everything and anything, and it's getting to be almost completely mainstream at this point. And how did that happen? It happened through the transition that you're going through right now. It's only going to increase. It's only going to get stronger. The pull over to 5D is only going to ache within you. And really, the only way that you need to follow in order to get there is your bliss. And you've been hearing about this from generations in all the new age books that you see everywhere. Follow your bliss, follow your excitement, follow your heart. Even though sometimes your heart feels like the wrong choice, if you would just follow your heart, regardless if it's an ego desire, regardless if it's inner child desire, follow it, because it's going to take you through the path of least resistance. It may take you into a little bit of a dark night as you're moving up, but that's just because you have to expose all those shadows that are hidden deep within you. In order to go from 3D to 5D, you have to actually become the alchemist, which means that you have to transition your darkness into light, which means it's a much more light-based environment. 3D is much more dense, it's heavy, it's confusing, it's analytical, it's very structured. And 5D is very unstructured. It's very much like which room do you choose to be in, and every room that you go in, you're a different version of you. And you're able to move in and out of parallel realities very quickly in 5D. Everything looks much more vivid because the sun is technically a brighter force due to the photonic grid and activations of the light, which means that necessarily we're not going to be hotter or more uncomfortable. We're actually going to be more buoyant in our light bodies. But how we're going to get there, especially after this full moon has passed, it's almost like, okay, the full moon is all about manifesting and seeing where we are and taking stock and looking around and observing our reality. And now the choice is yours. How do you want to proceed? Do you want to proceed in fear, or do you want to proceed in love? Either way, you're going. You've heard that quote, let go or be dragged. You've heard every meme that I've shared in every Instagram account, all on Facebook, Pinterest for the last 2 months. Let go, let go, let go, let go, let go. It's about faith right now. And I know that everybody's talking about this utopia over in 5D, but there's several of people on the planet that are living very successfully and very happily in this transition. And I have to be honest to say that it gets easier the more we surrender to it. And the more we let go of the way we think our lives were supposed to look, and step into what we could possibly have, because your wildest dreams could all totally come true instantaneously if you would just sit in that surrender place and say, you know what, I came here to do something important. I know it doesn't make me money right now. I know it's not taking care of my family, but my heart is calling me to do this. I would really ask you to honor yourself, because as soon as you step past the fear of not being able to support yourself is when the universe begins to support you. It is always when you become a vibrational match to that which you are, that you are basically gifted with everything that you need to provide for that particular journey. So that is my message for tonight. Next week, it's going to be a little bit more of the same, but I'm actually going to be working a little bit with you guys to get you really comfortable with understanding the DNA activations that are going to be taking place all over the planet with my tour and other people that are stepping out behind the curtains to share their gifts. And it is all about letting go of who you're not to make space for what has always been underneath. The you that exists underneath the veil and underneath the shadows of the reality that has been projected onto you, that you had to kind of walk in the footsteps of something that was never you. And that's going to be slowly but surely kind of clearing out of your field. And what that allows you to do is tap into the quantum field of possibilities. So thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. Thank you guys for tuning in on YouTube and Facebook. We've got our tour information in the comments section. That will be October 5th through the 7th in Miami. We're going to be doing 3-day activation, activating your DNA through a really fast-tracked, expanded integration process. And we're using the Tesla coil technology. We're using the coherence of the heart technology. We're using light language. We're using different frequencies of music and dance. We're using quantum breath work, and we're using the location itself, which is housing the perfect conduit for the energy transmission. So I hope you guys are all able to join us in Miami, and we will create a global effect just by that first integration process. So thank you guys for joining me, and the rest of you, I will see you in the classrooms of our Tika Facebook pages this week. I have a live question and answer that I do every Thursday morning in our subscription group in Facebook. It's called Tika, Jessica Alstrom Quantum Life Tika, and that is my private coaching Facebook group. Or you can hang out in the community, and I've been doing lots of Facebook Lives and just get a feel for who we are. And then when you're ready, you can join us over in the Facebook group. And if you're really serious, you can dive down deep in the Academy with us, which is a year-long higher self university. So thank you guys so much for joining me, and I will see you in the classrooms, or I will see you in Miami. Thanks, guys.